Well, the Senate passed a bill late last night, which means the government is one step closer to reopening. According to reports, this bill has to go to the House of Representatives, and the House needs to pass the bill as well. Well, they are saying that this should happen tomorrow sometime afternoon, but expect the vote is going to take place around 4 p.m. in Washington. Now, here's what you need to know. What exactly is in this bill? First off, it says the Senate passes bill to end the government shutdown, sending it to the House. But what are they sending to the House? Well, this is where things get very interesting, because even though the federal government is going to reopen likely in the next several days, there is still a possibility that the federal government will shut down in January. And I'll explain more on that in a moment, but I want to play a couple clips for you. First off, listen to this.
Well, yeah, 8 Democrats joined Republicans last night to pass that measure that will be to reopen the government. Part of it will be for the rest of the fiscal year. Part of it's only until January 30th. But now it goes to the House. Passage there seems very likely, even though House Democrats are whipping against the measure. Fiscal hawks in the Republican conference are already calling it a total win. We're expecting to see that vote tomorrow afternoon. Members have been told to aim for around 4 o'clock, could go a little bit later. But now the race is really on to see if those health care tax credits can be reauthorized before they expire at the end of the year. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, she was a key part of brokering that deal to end the shutdown in the Senate. She told NBC that the 40-plus day shutdown has put the health care debate front and center, and if Republicans don't find a path forward, they will pay for it in the midterms.
There are a number of Republicans who now recognize that this is an issue that's important to them and they need to work with us on it. And if they don't, then the American people are going to hold them accountable.
I do want to bring up one other thing before we listen to the rest of this. But so you're hearing many different dates here. So you heard, January 30th. That is when some of this this kind of government bill, that's as far as it's going to get extended. So lawmakers have to come together and work on these appropriations bills before January 30th. And if they don't, there'll be a secondary shutdown come February 1st. All right. So that's extremely important. But the reason why I'm telling you that the federal government could shut down again is because Republicans have promised Democrats whatever bill they want will be seen in the Senate. That Senate Majority Leader John Thune said that yes, Chuck Schumer, we will get your bill. We will put it on the floor in the Senate, and there could potentially be a vote. But and I'm gonna play another clip for you in a second. But the Speaker of the House isn't really doing the same thing. So even though Republicans are saying yes, you will see your bill, it will go to the floor of the Senate. It may not ever see the floor in the House. That could be a problem. And then Democrats could say, you know what? We're seeing these prices are rising for healthcare here in the United States. We're going to shut the government down again. But again, keep this in mind. Even though they're saying that, yes, we want to make sure that healthcare is affordable for the American people, they're talking about subsidies. They're talking about tax credits. But yet nobody's figuring out that we should go after the healthcare companies. Go after those companies that are charging an arm and a leg for things that we shouldn't be paying that much for. We are the most expensive country in the world when it comes to healthcare. And it's all because we're padding the pockets of billionaires. Let's keep listening to this.
Still, Republican senators that I spoke with yesterday, they're looking to make any sort of bill about more than just the tax credit, potentially making some larger changes to how the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare as it's known, works. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune did promise Democrats that they will get a vote on a bill of their choosing in mid-December. And in Congress terms, that is just not a lot of time to come to a complex agreement. Then again, Democrats are going to have the chance at the end of January to shut down part of the government again if they are not happy with how things are going.
Yeah, like I just said. But listen to this.
I think it was a terrible, terrible vote at a time when we have a broken healthcare system.
Now, some blaming Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and a group of House members calling for him to step down, and President Trump taking a victory lap.
He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him.
Schumer blaming the GOP.
Republicans had their chance to fix this, and they blew it.
And the moderates who brokered the deal arguing it was the best option.
Was it worth it?
We crystallized the fight about health care for the American people.
But the House Republican leader not making any promises on a future health care vote.
I'm not committing to it or not committing to it. What I'm saying is that we do a deliberative process.
The end of the shutdown means relief for millions of Americans. Federal workers will soon get back pay, and those laid off during the shutdown will get their jobs back. SNAP benefit recipients will eventually get their funding back after weeks of receiving a fraction of what they're entitled to.
Okay. Here's what's interesting about that. They were talking about how there's a group of Republicans that want to pass something greater. Don't just want to pass a bill that includes the extension of some tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. That's not what they want to do. They don't want to do a standalone bill there. They want to pack that with other things, other priorities, their agenda. Well, this is where President Trump steps in. Because again, look at this. He says Trump floats $2,000 tariff rebate checks. Here's what you need to know. This would be considered a dividend of what we've collected due to tariffs over the past several months. But here's where things get interesting. According to reports, Republicans, they are open to the fact that, yes, we are going to extend some of the Affordable Care Act subsidies. We will extend that a little bit, but it's not going to be much. And here's what we're going to do differently. We're going to extend it, possibly for a year, okay? But it's going to be a little more restricting. And then, according to reports, President Trump wants to see this $2,000 tariff rebate check go to the American people. $2,000 per person, excluding high-income earners. Guess what that does? That then solves a couple different problems. Number one, puts money back into the American people's pocket. Number two, this actually boosts Republicans for the upcoming midterm election in 2026, which we are 1 year away. That is a huge, huge win for Republicans. Guess what? We are now hearing that if this is the case, then Democrats may vote against their own bill that says, yep, we are going to give you this 1 year extension on these Affordable Care Act subsidies. So Democrats are now, for what they were fighting for over the past 41 days, they may vote against a bill because it actually pushes Republicans even closer to more seats in the House and the Senate in the upcoming midterm election. Yeah, that's what we're hearing at this time. I want to play one last clip for you. Listen to this.
The president wants to give middle and lower income people $2,000.
Well, he stressed the money would come, again, from tariffs on foreign goods, not taxpayer dollars. He says wealthy Americans would not qualify, though it's unclear who actually would.
The director of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, says the administration has taken a hard look at this issue.
When we studied the matter in the summer, that we thought that deficit reduction might be the best use of those monies, but we've had a big surge in tax revenues. You've seen even a bit surplus in the latest monthly Treasury report. And because of the surge in tax revenues, I think that's a position that Congress and the President are reconsidering.
One thing that you need to keep in mind, though, is in order for something like a $2,000 tariff rebate check to go to the American people, it has to pass through Congress. That President Trump doesn't have the authority to pass that type of a rebate on his own. Now, with that said, what we are likely going to see, keep in mind today is November 11th. Today is Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day. But today's November 11th. We are being told that Congress has until about the middle of December to work on a bill for these Affordable Care Act, these tax credit extensions. Because keep in mind, on January 1st, that is when the subsidies will go away, meaning prices will increase. So that's something Democrats don't want. But lawmakers go on recess towards the middle of December. So unless Speaker Mike Johnson and the Senate Majority Leader John Thune want to keep their their parties in Washington, they're going to send them home to go and celebrate the holidays with their families and their constituents. So right now we got a little bit over 1 month to get this deal done, and this is where some are saying that it's just not enough time. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know as of today. The good news is the Senate did pass this bill, meaning the United States government is one step closer to reopening, likely within the next 48 hours. So as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.